Yesterday, we covered a story where Fox News was talking about Al Jazeera, and they said that it might be a way to trigger sleeper cells. Oh, my God. Now, Megyn Kelly mentioned it, and then her guest mentioned it, and they had all these crazy theories about how there's sleeper cells in Detroit, and the fact that of the 7 or 8 different bureaus Al Jazeera is going to have in the United States, one of them is in Detroit. And there was once someone in Dearborn, Michigan, who was caught aiding Hezbollah. One person, okay? Well, obviously there's all those sleeper cells in Dearborn or Detroit or in that near area. And when Al Jazeera gets on TV and they say, it'll seem like they're saying good morning or welcome to Al Jazeera America, but that triggers the cell. Lunatics, right? Now, okay, but Fox is crazy. And so they say crazy stuff all the time, not a big deal. But today, they said it again. Now, twice is a memo. Once is typical Fox craziness. Twice means somebody in their executive offices wrote a memo and handed it to the anchors and said, you keep bringing this up. And the two people they plant memos most with, Megyn Kelly, that was yesterday, and today, Fox and Friends. Watch.
Well, I think the American Spectator put it very well. This is a $500 million Trojan horse for terror TV. And just along with the rest of the domestic liberal media, Al Jazeera is going to pose on a mask of objectivity. They're hiring so-called investigative reporters now at all of these bureaus, and they're going to have an expansive reach into American homes. And I think it's incumbent upon those of us who are very familiar with how Al Jazeera abroad has cheerleaded for terror that has taken American lives, that they know who these people side with.
Cheerleading for terror, terror TV. They bring Michelle Malkin on to make these idiotic points, and then Steve Doocy joins in. They have a great time. Ha ha, Al Jazeera. Now, look, it's fascinating. So first of all, let me just address the nonsense, right? Now, one of the reasons that they make all these charges is because in the beginning, when Osama bin Laden was putting out tapes, Al Jazeera got those tapes and they aired them. If you're a news organization and the biggest criminal in the world has given you a tape and you don't air it, you're not a news organization. You might be something else, but you don't do news. Were the bin Laden tapes news? Of course they were news. Who wouldn't run that? You'd be crazy not to run that. Maybe the only people in the world who wouldn't run it is the American media, who's just another branch of the U.S. government. So they would say, well, yes, government, what would you like me to do? Oh, you would like me to hide that from the people of the world. Of course, I will do that for you. Now, of course, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post in the past have hid evidence and stories that the Bush administration didn't want. So, for example, we had Al-Qaeda's top leader, Osama bin Laden, cornered in Tora Bora. New York Times knew about it before the election in 2004, held the story till afterwards. Warrantless wiretapping. New York Times knew about the story before the election in 2004, held it as a political gift to George W. Bush afterwards. Why? Oh, no. National security. No. You're not press if you do that. There were great stories by the New York Times, but you run it as soon as you have it. So this is a wild excuse to try to paint Al Jazeera as the bad guys. Now we return to the question of why. So that's interesting. Now, Al Jazeera America is not going to launch for some time now. Current is still on. I know because I'm on Current. And look, understand that. And if you think I'm biased because of that, I'm letting you know where I stand. And anybody who watches this show knows I've called out employers before many times, and it's gotten me in a lot of trouble before. But I've done it anyway, okay? This isn't about that. But why Fox News is going after Al Jazeera America today instead of when they start to launch? I'll tell you why. It turns out Al Jazeera America is hiring a ton of people from cable news. They've put out hundreds, thousands of job employment opportunities. And from what I hear, and honestly, I don't have a deal with Al Jazeera America. I had a deal with Current. I don't have one. So I wouldn't know personally, right? But from what I hear, they're paying good wages. So this is Roger Ailes sending a shot across the bow saying, hey, you're going to come mess with us, and you're going to get reporters, and you're going to create competition, and you're going to do all these things that we don't want? Well, then I'm going to call you Terror TV, and I'm going to send out my minions, my dogs, to attack and to say day in and day out, just because you have an Arabic name, just because you did journalism, we're going to call you a terrorist. That's how we play dirty in America. And by the way, then the great irony is these guys are criticizing Al Jazeera for not doing journalism right. Fox News. By the way, one of their big complaints is Al Jazeera owned by Arabs. Oh, they got the petrodollars over there. God knows what their connections are. Hey guys, you know who the second largest shareholder of Fox News is? Nothing I love pointing out more than this. There he is. Look at that. Prince bin Talal Al Waleed. And there he is with News Corp executives. They're being infiltrated as we look at that picture right there. That is the infiltration meeting. That's their second largest shareholder. They answer to him. So don't come talking to me about, oh my God, Arabs are coming in the sleeper cells and all that stuff.